Great Smoky Mountains National Park welcomes over 12 million visitors every single year, making it the most visited national park in the entire United States by a massive margin. That is roughly double the number of people who visit the Grand Canyon. So the question everyone asks is this: is it actually possible to experience the Smokies without feeling like you are standing in line at a theme park? The answer is absolutely yes, and today I am going to show you exactly how. Think of the park like an iceberg. The part most tourists see, places like Clingman's Dome, Laurel Falls, and the main Cades Cove Loop, that is the tip above the waterline. It represents maybe 10% of what the park has to offer. The other 90%, over 800 miles of trails and countless scenic pull-offs, sits below the surface, largely untouched by the average visitor. Your goal is to become a below-the-waterline explorer, and everything I'm about to share will help you do exactly that. Let us start with timing, because when you visit matters more than almost anything else. The absolute peak season runs from mid-June through the end of October, with the worst congestion happening during fall leaf season in October. If you have any flexibility at all, aim for the shoulder seasons. Late March through mid-May is extraordinary. The wildflower bloom in the Smokies is one of the most spectacular in North America, with over 1,500 species of flowering plants lighting up the forest floor. Yet most people associate the park with fall foliage and summer vacation, so spring is significantly quieter. January and February are the quietest months of all, and while some roads close due to weather, the lower elevation trails remain accessible, and you may have entire valleys to yourself. Now, even if you are locked into a summer or fall visit, you can still beat the crowds with a simple rule I call the 7 or 7 principle. Arrive at the park before 7 in the morning or after 7 in the evening. The vast majority of tourists roll in between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. If you start your day at sunrise, you will enjoy golden light on the mountains, empty parking lots, and that famous Smoky Mountain mist before it burns off. Evenings are equally magical. The crowds thin dramatically after 5 p.m., and sunset from certain overlooks can be a completely private experience. Day of the week also plays a significant role. Saturdays are by far the busiest day, followed by Sundays and Fridays. If you can plan your visit for a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, you will notice a dramatic difference. Combine a midweek visit with an early morning start, and you have already eliminated the majority of your crowd problems before you even choose a trail. Let us talk about entrances next, because most visitors make the same mistake. They funnel in through one of two main gateway towns, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, or Cherokee, North Carolina. These are wonderful towns, but the roads leading from them into the park, specifically Newfound Gap Road, become parking lots during peak hours. Think of it like a freeway on ramp during rush hour. Everyone is trying to merge at the same point. Instead, consider entering through the Townsend entrance on the western side of the park. Townsend is often called the quiet side of the Smokies, and for good reason. It gives you direct access to Cades Cove and the Tremont area without battling the Gatlinburg traffic. Another excellent option is the Cosby entrance in the northeastern corner. Cosby is one of the least used entry points in the entire park, and it serves as a gateway to some genuinely remarkable trails. The Cataloochee Valley entrance on the eastern side of North Carolina is another hidden gem. The road in is narrow and winding, which naturally deters casual visitors, but the reward is a secluded valley where you can watch wild elk grazing in open meadows, often with no more than a handful of other people around. Now, let us get to the trails themselves, because trail selection is where you really separate the insiders from the day trippers. Everyone has heard of Laurel Falls. It is a paved trail leading to a beautiful waterfall, and on a busy day, you might share it with 1,000 other hikers. But did you know that Hen Wallow Falls, accessible from the Cosby area, offers an equally stunning waterfall experience with a fraction of the visitors? The trail is about 4.4 miles round trip, moderate in difficulty, and passes through gorgeous old-growth forest. Another incredible option is the Porters Creek Trail. This trail begins near the Greenbrier entrance, another lesser-used access point, and winds through wildflower meadows and past historical homesteads before arriving at Fern Branch Falls. In spring, this trail is carpeted with wildflowers, and yet most visitors have never even heard of it. It is roughly 4 miles round trip and relatively easy. For those wanting a more challenging adventure, consider the Boogerman Trail in Cataloochee Valley. This roughly 7.5-mile loop takes you through enormous old-growth trees, some of the largest in the park, and the trail name alone makes it memorable. You might encounter fewer than 20 people on this trail, even during peak season. If you want high-elevation views without the Clingman's Dome crowds, look into the Mount Camera Trail. It is a longer hike, about 11 miles round trip, but the historic fire tower at the summit offers a 360-degree panorama that rivals anything in the park. Because of the distance, most casual visitors never attempt it, which means you will likely share the summit with only a few other dedicated hikers. Speaking of views, let me share some scenic overlooks that most tourists drive right past. Along Newfound Gap Road, everyone stops at the Newfound Gap parking area itself. But just a few miles south, the Oconaluftee Valley Overlook provides sweeping views with significantly fewer people. On the Foothills Parkway, which runs along the northern boundary of the park, the Look Rock Tower offers one of the finest panoramic views in all of the Smokies, and most tourists do not even know the Foothills Parkway exists. The recently completed Missing Link section of the Foothills Parkway West features several new overlooks with jaw-dropping views and almost no traffic. Before I continue with parking strategies and itinerary planning, I want to take a quick moment. If you are finding these tips helpful and you want more insider knowledge about America's national parks, hit that like button and subscribe to National Park Secrets. We dig into the hidden side of every major park so you can have better experiences with fewer headaches. All right, back to the Smokies. Parking is genuinely one of the biggest challenges in the park, and it has become even more of an issue in recent years. Here's what you need to know. For Cades Cove, the most visited area in the park, a timed entry reservation system has been implemented during peak months. You will want to check the National Park Service website well in advance to secure your reservation. Without one, you simply will not get in during the controlled hours. However, there is a workaround. If you arrive before the timed entry window begins, which is typically very early in the morning, you can often enter without a reservation. Again, the early bird principle proves itself. For popular trailheads like Alum Cave, which is the main route up to Mount LeConte, parking fills up as early as 7:30 a.m. on busy days. The Park Service has implemented a parking tag system for certain high-demand areas. Check the current requirements before your trip because these systems evolve from year to year. A general rule of thumb is that if a trailhead has fewer than 20 parking spots, you need to be there at or before sunrise on weekends. One strategy that many experienced Smokies visitors use is what I call the shuttle approach. Park your car at a less crowded location, such as the Sugarlands Visitor Center, and use the park trolley system that operates in the Gatlinburg area. This eliminates the stress of finding parking at popular trailheads entirely. Now let me put all of this together into a sample itinerary that maximizes your experience while minimizing your crowd exposure. Imagine you have 2 full days in the park, arriving midweek in mid-May. On day 1, enter through the Townsend entrance before 7 a.m. and head straight to Cades Cove. At that hour, the loop road is nearly empty, and the wildlife viewing is at its best. Deer, black bears, and wild turkeys are most active in the early morning. Complete the 11-mile loop and stop at the historical cabins and churches along the way. By mid-morning, leave Cades Cove before the crowds peak and head to the Tremont area for a relaxing hike along the Middle Prong Trail, a peaceful riverside walk with swimming holes and cascades. Spend your afternoon exploring the Foothills Parkway overlooks and have dinner in Townsend. On day 2, enter from the Cosby side early in the morning and hike Hen Wallow Falls. After your hike, drive through to the Cataloochee Valley. Spend the early afternoon watching for elk in the meadows and walking the short trails to the historic buildings. In the late afternoon, if you still have energy, take Newfound Gap Road and stop at the overlooks during the golden hour when most tourists are heading back to their hotels. This 2-day plan covers multiple regions of the park, includes both waterfalls and panoramic views, features wildlife watching opportunities, and avoids every single major traffic bottleneck. You will see a side of the Smokies that 90% of visitors never discover. A few final tips before I let you go. Always check the park's official website and social media channels the morning of your visit for real-time road closures and parking updates. Download offline maps before you arrive because cell service inside the park is extremely limited. Bring layers regardless of the season because temperatures can vary by 20 degrees or more between the valley floor and the high elevation ridges. And always carry bear spray and know how to use it. Black bears are active throughout the park, and encounters, while rarely dangerous, do happen. The Smokies are one of the most biodiverse places on the continent, home to more tree species than all of Northern Europe combined. It would be a shame to experience that richness while stuck bumper to bumper on a congested road. With the strategies we covered today, choosing the right entrance, timing your arrival, selecting lesser-known trails, and planning your itinerary with intention, you can experience the magic that gave these mountains their name. That soft blue mist rising through ancient forests in perfect, peaceful quiet. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more insider guides to America's greatest national parks, subscribe to National Park Secrets and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Drop a comment below and let us know your favorite hidden spot in the Smokies. Until next time, happy trails.